good to see lots of old friends and new friends here. For those of you who don't know me, I think most of you, we've crossed paths at some point. My name's Bronwyn. I've been around in the travel and tourism industry for quite a long time and had done lots of different jobs. So primarily I am a travel researcher. So I, for the last 20 years, have literally interviewed and surveyed thousands of travellers about why they love travel. That's my passion, is talking to travellers every day and finding out the transformational nature of travel, why they love to travel, and letting everybody in the industry know really at the core, deep down, why people travel. And as those that work with me currently know, it's not about the 50 activities on the cruise that's heavily promoted. And more recently, I've gone all in with AI. AI is my passion. I've spent the last 18 months educating myself, mostly in America, with some AI gurus. And that's been part of masterminds. It's learning from the head of AI architecture at Stern University. And yeah, just educating myself on everything possible with AI, and in particular generative AI. Gen AI, you may have heard the term, refers to ChatGPT and Claude and the like, and DeepSeek. So generative AI it generates stuff. It generates words and all sorts of things. That's the AI that we are used to using in our day-to-day lives if we're using it. So I felt it was really important to qualify why I'm here today and why I'm imparting some of my knowledge. And I don't take it lightly. I've spent hundreds of hours learning about AI, continued learning, keeping up to date with this very fast-moving paced industry. And I wanted to do this session because I've seen some things come out recently, not only in the mainstream press, but also in travel and tourism press, which I'm not going to out now, but I've seen some really concerning narrative and commentary in some pretty major travel publications by some and with comments and quotes for some pretty major figures, and they're just incorrect. And they're incorrect because the knowledge there is that deep. So I just wanted to get on and talk about just how important it is that we're all across this stuff. It is going to just simply change our industry in ways you can't even imagine. We're seeing a bit of it now, but I wanted to just talk through some of the stuff today about what we've seen over the last week with DeepSeek and Operator. And some of that narrative coming out in the press is, especially the travel press, is, oh, it's not in Australia yet, we don't need to worry about it. So you're laughing because I can see you. You showed it to me. So I thank you very much for that. And it just made me so concerned for everybody here in the room. So that's what today's all about. And full transparency, I run a coaching course called the Travel Marketing Machine. It's where I teach travel and tourism professionals just like you how to make the most of AI in your business, how to use it. And with that, I embed all of my knowledge of the travel industry and traveler research sitting behind all the AI. So I am a full-on nerd when it comes to traveler research and technology. Deb, you saw it too. Okay. All right. So you probably all read that. So just, got me a bit cranky. But you know what? You guys are absolutely awesome because you're here. And it means that what the future holds. What I'm going to do now is share my screen. So today, navigating AI in travel and tourism, and just understanding some of these new phrases and things that we've heard coming out, and just the facts through the fiction. So essentially what we're seeing, and you probably don't see it every day in your day-to-day tasks and work life, is that AI is advancing so fast. We've seen huge amounts of money thrown at it by the US government, and we've seen OpenAI's Operator launched this week, which is, I'll take you through what that is, but it's pretty amazing. And this will affect our industry big time. So we have had DeepSeek, the Chinese version of ChatGPT, arrive as well. And I'm going to take you through what that means and what it is essentially. Lots and lots of tools that can automate complex tasks, streamline some of your operations, and it's reshaping the marketing industry, the advertising industry. So if you're working with marketing agencies at the moment, some of the big ones, what I wanted to say as well is you're not seeing a lot of this stuff being presented at travel and tourism conferences because a lot of marketing and ad agencies fund the conferences, and a lot of the people running the conferences are publishing houses whose clients are ad agencies and marketing agencies. So you're not seeing a lot of this stuff. You're seeing it come out on stage at the odd conference, but it might be shunted to a little breakout room. It's not the main agenda when it should be the main agenda, because it's going to disrupt the digital marketing space, the content marketing space, and any advertising marketing space around right now. So their business is at risk essentially, unless they navigate it properly and in a streamlined manner. Business is going to change. And ChatGPT, I know I had someone through the week say, I'm going to wait 6 months or so before I start learning about this stuff. You'll be left behind. If you want to be ahead of all of your competitors, you need to understand this now. You need to get into it now. You need to understand how not to sound like every other travel business out there with ChatGPT. Because a lot of us are using this, but that just means that we're all sounding the same. So it's not as simple as just learning about ChatGPT and Gen AI. It's how to prime it, how to prompt it, how to tell it not to output the same as everybody else. And my secret sauce and secret weapon has always been traveler research. As a researcher, I've really found something to, I guess, what I used to do, what used to take me 6 months to do, might take me a week to do. So I'm very transparent, and that's pretty well the same as every other sort of research and marketing person that you're dealing with. So let's go through some of this stuff now. Let me find my keyboard, which my new Fandangle tool needs. There we go. Why not? Oh, here we go. Let me go back up to make sure. Here we go. Yes, it worked. So we'll go through Operator and DeepSeek. They're the two big launches. We saw disruptions, but also massive opportunity for everybody here. This is why you need to get in now. And it'll make sense once I get through this presentation. Lots of data, privacy, security concern. I was talking to some people this week about local governments, how they're banned from using it. They're not using it in local government, which is just, I guess, not right again, because the Australian and state governments are actually using AI, and they're coming out with policies on how public servants can use AI safely. So that is another myth I need to dispel. And if you want to read more on that, I've got a reference for you later on that the Australian government have put out. So what all this means is it's not going away. This is disruptive, not just for us, but for the entire world in ways that we've never, ever imagined. It'll be disruptive in medical research, all sorts of areas that we don't have anything to do with. But with disruption comes opportunity. And for everybody here in this room now, you are already a leader because you're here, you understand. You may not understand what it really is, but you understand it's important. So you're taking steps to learn about AI. No mouse. So I want to talk about what's come through this week. It's called, the key thing is Operator. And this is what in nerd speak is called an autonomous AI agent. Operator is a owned by OpenAI, who owns ChatGPT. It's going to be driven by ChatGPT. It will be a plugin or an app that's connected to ChatGPT. And right now, Operator, the product, is only available in the USA because it's in what they call research phase. So it's available in the USA and it's only available to people on the $200 a month Pro plan. And so they're generally people that use generative AI and ChatGPT a lot. So they're doing a lot of testing, user testing. So yes, it is only in the USA right now, but it will be here very soon. Don't you worry about that. So the thing that we've all gotten used to now is things happen so much quicker than they did a year ago with AI and generative AI. So Operator is like a bot or using ChatGPT, just like a human does it. So what it does is it interacts with websites by typing and clicking and scrolling. So it is, basically a robot on ChatGPT or say on Google, in their case, Bing. They use Bing, where if you ask a question, I want to stay in a 5-star hotel in Paris and I want to eat at the Ritz, but I don't want to stay at the Ritz. You could give it all this. What it would do is it would go off and spend hours and hours. So, Sarah, this is something we spoke about the other day. You would go and spend hours researching TripAdvisor, Booking.com. You're probably going to some luxury websites and then go to the restaurant, trying to find the Ritz, trying to get into the Ritz. It does it all for you. All you have to do is tell it what to do and it will start searching the internet for you. It's incredible. It's mind-blowing. And it will get it back to you in a few minutes. So if you think about, it can search for complete purchases it can look for your flights to Sydney tomorrow. It can do your Woolies online shopping. It can book your tickets to see Taylor Swift. And it can book your restaurant reservation for next week when you're back in Melbourne. And it can do it all at the same time. So all you have to do is tell it what to do and it just goes off and does it. So it's incredible and it's hard to believe. If you're old enough, it's Jetsons stuff, isn't it? All you need to do, like with Woolies online, you can give it your shopping list. And as long as you're logged into your Woolies online or Coles online account and give it your shopping list, it will go and click into your Western Star butter, your mangoes, your cucumbers, your baked beans. It'll go and do all the shopping for you. And when it gets to the checkout, it will ask you for your credit card number. It will prompt you to exit the ChatGPT and go into the Woolies online and just put your number in. So that's a security measure they've got. So once it's ready, it just asks you to pay for it. So imagine in just day-to-day life, it's wonderful because it gives us back so much time to really pursue the stuff that we want to pursue in life. And I'll talk about that a little bit later, where it's not going to take our jobs. It's just going to allow us to service our clients a whole lot better. Other things it can do, it opens up multiple tabs, just like you do in Google. You'll have one for your Woolies online. You'll have one for your Qantas and your Virgin if you're comparing your flights. You'll have one for your restaurant. You'll have, people like me, 20 million tabs open throughout the course of an afternoon to get jobs done. It'll just do it for you in a couple of minutes. How amazing is that? It sees all your screenshots. And what also happens if it encounters challenges or makes any sort of mistake, it has reasoning capabilities. So it can try and figure out what is wrong. So it will sit there and, just try and figure it out and then maybe go to another website. And so that is where you need to think about having your websites and your content searchable by Operator. And again, I'll talk about that a bit later on. But it is coming and it's super, super important. The human element, we still have to be here in case something goes wrong. If it gets stuck and it needs your help, it just simply hands back control to you, the end user. So it's probably doing that a lot now, but once it gets trained, it will just be more and more efficient every single day in every execution. So just like you see in normal ChatGPT every day or Claude, whatever you use, it gets better at understanding who you are and your requirements, your tone of voice. It will understand more and more about your needs the more you use Operator. So yes, at the moment it's dollars US. It's also only available in the US. But like everything, the price of that will come down, especially now that we've got big competitors that are charging nothing. It'll be available pretty much for everybody to use. It's quite incredible. Yeah, so that is Operator. Let's have a look. Yeah, just reiterating, it can book your flights, reserve hotels, and secure event tickets all at once. Instead of thinking, oh my God, it's taking my job, think about it's another staff member for you. You've got this staff member who's going to do these tasks for you. As a travel professional and someone who wants to curate amazing experiences, whether you're accommodation, whether you're a travel agent, it means that you can do your job even better and serve your clients better. One of the other things it's doing is that I've seen it cross-check TripAdvisor reviews and compare pricing on different platforms. And they're squarely and fairly targeting people that plan travel. So what I've seen of the interface, because I did have some people in the US show me because I wanted to have a look. It did take a long time because I asked a very specific and some would say obscure question. But what it does is it compares pricing on different platforms and it'll give you a summary. It's really incredible. So, for example, I wanted business class tickets from Melbourne to Paris. They were asking from America. So they did come up with a few questions for me, but it navigated it absolutely fine. It just took a bit longer. So when I say it took a bit longer, it probably took 10 minutes instead of a minute, which it'll take a minute next week. So thinking about the amount of time that people spend on TripAdvisor sourcing reviews. Now, the thing that we need to recognize here, and I need to let you know, travelers, especially my baby boomers, who I've researched very heavily, get absolute joy out of researching travel and planning travel on the internet. So I'll be really interested to see once this comes through how much they're using Operator. They love to research. They spend hundreds of hours a year. So these are the high spending boomers, hundreds of hours a year researching travel. As a full on nerd, I'll be really excited to see how their travel planning and booking behavior changes. Of course, if you're in my program, the Travel Marketing Machine, I'll be feeding that back to you straight away to help you prepare for capturing those people and meeting them at the places that they want you to meet them to service them, because they will need the human at some point in their customer journey. You just have to meet them at that particular time when they're ready, which is going to be different from what it is today. So this is what is on the OpenAI ChatGPT Operator website. They are squarely looking at travel planning. We have travel partners. So if you have a look here, here is the prompt that they're showing on their website. Find and book me the highest rated one-day tour of Rome. So what it does is it's responded. So this is ChatGPT saying, I'll search for the highest rated tour in historic Rome on TripAdvisor. Once I find suitable options, I'll provide you with the details. Let's begin. So you tell it what you want, it gives you what we call in marketing a reverse brief of what it thinks you want. So there's chance there to correct the order or the prompt. And then it takes you through, if you have a look down here on the left, exactly what it's doing. It's navigating to the TripAdvisor website, selecting things to do, searching for historic Rome tours. This is something you can imagine a traveller doing in their hundreds of hours of research. This is how we search for travel. As travellers, we're all travellers in here. We're travellers and we serve travellers. This is phenomenal. So this is what's coming. Oops. Go. So bringing it down to us in the room, in our industry, it will save you so many hours because it's going to automate all that researching. Sarah, you were doing so much researching the other day. Imagine that we just asked it to plan and book all that stuff for us. So you have the assistant. You don't have to do it for yourself anymore. You ask it to do it for you. So if you're running a small hotel, you can ask it to order any supplies that you need. You can ask it to research and get quotes on washing for your bed linen and towels. You can ask it to be on autopilot to order whenever you need it to. So it's taking all these menial tasks away from you so that you can focus on serving your clients best you can. And if you're a travel agent, I know there's a few of you on here, it just means that you can source amazing new destinations, curate the experiences that all those ideas that you've had in your head, probably for years, you can actually execute on those now. Because if travelers are using a travel agent, they want someone who knows more than they do. And this comes through my research time and time over. So it's just the efficiency. It's those operational bottlenecks that we come up against so often in the travel and tourism industry. We're stuck in the operations, the day-to-day operations of doing stuff, working in the business rather than on the business. Potential challenges, as I see with ChatGPT, is the over-reliance. You still must retain the human oversight because the human is where the magic happens. It's where the differentiation happens in your content. It's going to still make mistakes, and this includes fact checking. So in the travel and tourism industry, things close all the time. We have seasonal changes. We have things that open, close, go out of business. So always check if things are open. Industry disruption. Operator, AI tools like Operator bypass travel agents. So as a travel agent and online travel agents, it will reshape the traditional travel booking system. It just will. And what that means is that they're not going to use, it doesn't mean that they're not going to use an agent. It just means you have to reposition your strengths as a travel agent. So I see in my research all the time that they love their travel agents, especially high spending travel agents, because they want you to know more than them. They expect you to be going off and finding these new destinations, new hotels all the time. That is your job. And really, that's what you want to do, creating these new experiences. So, Kirsten, going over and visiting, as I say, this is really tough, or as many Christmas markets as possible this year in Europe. So that's what she did. She went and experienced all of these Christmas markets. So she has firsthand knowledge to give her clients, high-end premium clients that will pay for that service. That's what you should be doing, going and experiencing these and saying, this market's great for families, this market's great for couples, this one's too crowded, here's a new one you don't know about. That's what you need to be doing, and that's what travelers value in a travel agent. As I mentioned, it's being very targeted at travel first and foremost. They've already got relationships with Booking.com, Travel, TripAdvisor, Priceline, Uber, and OpenTable. It's really essential that we adapt, and I'm going to talk about some of the things that you can do to get ready for when this arrives, which will be very soon. So, as I keep saying, it's just going to disrupt, in particular, the online travel agencies. So, for those of you in the room that want your bookings to come direct, this is perfect for you. So, if you're an accommodation provider, tour operator, and you don't want to be selling through the OTAs, this is perfect for you. And I will show you why in just a moment. Okay, we've spoken about that. Opportunity, personalization, enhanced customer experience, the Christmas markets, the cruisings, the experiencing, going on educationals, new marketing strategies. Now, this is where you really have to pull your finger out. So you'll need to increase your content. And it's something that we're doing in my program, is increasing our web content so that Operator and the likes, because they'll each have their own, Claude will have a version, DeepSeek will have a version, so that those little bots can find you online. The only way, and this is how it's been forever, so forever, the last 10, 15 years, the way that Google finds you, the way that travelers find you on Google is through content. If you don't have content, there's no way that the algorithms can find you. And it's even more so now. We're putting control of our selections into Operator. If you don't have enough content on your website, or if your content is not up to date, it will just simply find another website that has the information that you have directed it to get. So do you understand where I'm coming from here? So just say you're a hotel in a regional area, you're a small hotel or in Cairns. It's no longer enough to just talk about your hotel in Cairns and you have 1-bedroom apartments, you might have 2-bedroom apartments. We're here, we might have a restaurant open these hours. You almost have to become an authority on Cairns in your website. So you need to start thinking about the things around. This is called contextual search, which is being best practice, semantic search. And by having all of that information, you're telling it that you're central. So when I ask my question, ask Operator, I want to be in a central location in Cairns, knowing that I'm near the night markets, knowing that I'm near the Esplanade, knowing that there's a bus stop out the front of me, that I can walk to the botanical gardens. What's in the botanical gardens each season? What are the events on around me? You need to start having all of this stuff now so that you're selected. Okay, it's going to disrupt. You need to embrace content marketing is at the center more than ever. And here's a new word for you. It's not actually a new word. It's time to become more agentic. And I heard this earlier in the week when I was in my mastermind in the US. If you want to sound really smart, start using the word. You are going to become agentic in your marketing and in your business. All right, I might actually see if we have any questions. Okay, so I'll stop sharing for just a moment. Liz, note taken. Oh, Deb, thanks. Chad. So used to do AI for the US government. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think there's big things happening in the US government and governments around the world. I'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah, there's no reason, Kylie. We don't know, but I assume as long as you're an agent on there, yeah, for sure. Yep, you're right. Good on you. Yep, recording. Debbie, it's included in ChatGPT. It's like just an app. When would you distinctly not use AI? What do you mean by that? Because I use AI every single day, and I advocate everybody in this room use ChatGPT every single day just to get used to it. Where the magic happens in marketing is collectively, as the travel and tourism industry, we have the ability to put our point of view. So I was talking about the Christmas markets before, talking about having journalists come to your property if you run something, having people put their human point of view, because that's what a chatbot can't do. It can't go and smell walking past that, smelling the garlic, walking past that Italian restaurant and following your nose because that's what you did. It can't evoke those feelings of seeing the pyramids for the very first time. There are things that we as humans have that bots at this point in time and probably in our lifetimes won't ever have. That is your secret sauce. That is why you always, when you're creating ChatGPT content, and we go through this in the travel marketing machine, where your customer research, so we're doing surveys of our clients right now in the program. We can find out what they're looking for, and you can attach your point of view and your experience at the end. So that is your superpower, your human experience. Bots can't do that. So when you're reading lots of travel content, and I come across it every single day, a lot of it just sounds the same. If you're reading about, say, for example, European river cruises, if I'm a client, I'll go through about 10 different brands and 10 different river cruises. By the end of it, you don't know, they all sound the same. So whether they're internal departments or whether the agencies are using don't have that special point of view that you have as an agent or someone who's experienced the product. So I would hope that the product teams of the river cruises learn this stuff, but they don't. So it just gives you a fabulous opportunity right now before, and they won't figure this out for a long time, to really ramp up what you can give in your own personal brand, what you can give your travelers. Yes, humans are the secret sauce. Any more questions while I go on to the next bit? I will share again. Oh, bye, Jess. Okay. Here we are. So one of the things increasingly we have to look at is obviously data privacy and ethical concerns in using AI. And because we're dealing with customers, and we're dealing with extremely personal details like passport numbers and credit cards and all sorts of things and full names. So we are handed a client's first, middle name and last name, date of birth, passport number, probably the license number. This stuff is precious right now. When we're using AI, we need to be really transparent in how, as a travel business, we're using that AI. And being in the research game, we've had to be transparent about data and how we store data for a very long time and what we do with it once we've finished a project. We have to get rid of it essentially. So you need to be transparent. You need to maybe let them know if you're only using it to help design itineraries or operationally, but never ever put any customer names or personal data into ChatGPT, even more so with DeepSeek. Yeah, I can't just drive home that enough. It's super, super important. They're essentially putting their life in your hands. If this information gets into the wrong hands, it ruins people's life. So there's a whole lot of discussion and rhetoric happening around the world with governments right now into legal compliance because the whole AI world is moving much faster than it does in government because governments are slow, but they're trying to be as fast as they possibly can. A lot of regulatory bodies are opening up now for all the governments. We're seeing it in UK, obviously in the USA. And I wanted to put this here because of the comment I had recently about they're not allowed to use it in government. That's just wrong because they are. There are certain, for example, DeepSeek, they are not allowed to use that in the US if you work with the government at all. I know that. Again, I learnt this from my AI mastermind through the week. In Australia, we have the National Framework for the Assurance of Artificial Intelligence in Government. And it's a collaboration between the Australian, state, and territory governments. So, what the governments are saying here is that we know AI is here to stay. We know we've got to plan for it. It's not going anywhere. It's big. Therefore, we need to have some processes and policies around safe using of AI and ChatGPT and whatnot. So, that's that. Oh, hang on. What have I done here? And here's a little quote from that report. It's basically about assisting the government to develop, procure, and deploy AI in a safe and responsible way. So if you want to go and source that, it's called the National Framework. That's what it's called, and published June 2024. And they update it regularly. So yeah, it's happening pretty fast. Which brings me to the next bit. And I wanted to preclude that with safety, transparency, and privacy. You've all heard this week about DeepSeek AI. It is phenomenal. It's amazing. I have had a go. It's a really beautiful generative AI. I love using it. But for me personally, I have declined to use it for a few reasons. Essentially, what DeepSeek AI is, it's a Chinese version of ChatGPT. So it's a form of generative AI, and it has exceptional capabilities in what they call advanced reasoning. Its basic model is akin to ChatGPT version 1, which is the higher version with reasoning on ChatGPT. Basically, it just gives better output at the end of the day. So DeepSeek is really good at math. So what they're saying is that it gets 90% of any mathematical stuff that it does, all calculations right, and it's free. So it's this really wonderfully powerful generative AI, open source, and it's totally free. But the downside, it's owned by a Chinese company, therefore it has biases towards the CCP. So that's the Chinese Communist Party. And there's topics deemed sensitive towards the CCP as well. So there's always going to be strict content biases towards the CCP. And also the privacy policy states that it's collecting your personal information, and it complies with Chinese legal obligations, which is very different to Australian or US or European legal obligations. So your data is not going to be, or whatever you input is not going to be protected by the same laws as we are protected by in the US and Australia, for example. So that's the reason I'm not going to use it. It's the same reason I don't use TikTok or do any marketing on TikTok, because if they're talking about banning this stuff and they're taking my data and I don't know what they're doing with it, we just don't know. And because we don't know what's protecting us, and also people in my group, my mastermind in America, are not using it for the same reasons. It is amazing. I have used it. I wish I could use it. But for now, and I think for everything that we need here in the travel and tourism industry, in our business, we're okay to use ChatGPT, and you'll have some people using Claude and all sorts of other alternatives. But I use ChatGPT just because most people use it. I just learn one thing and learn it really well. And as travel and tourism professionals, you're always crazy busy. No need to go and use and try and use everything. Just do one. And in our program, we just do ChatGPT. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about a little bit what all this means, and it's really important to have that mind shift because generative AI and AI is not replacing anything. It's a new thing, and it's really hard for us to get our heads around. It's like the factories. It didn't replace something. It was a brand new thing that could scale production. This is the next level of that. So it will take some jobs, but really we've got ours for a while yet. The way I view it for everybody here is that it's allowing us to do our jobs better. And as I keep going back to, we can be less crazy busy. Unfortunately, I can't get it to clean the rooms yet or clean the shower blocks, but that could be coming. But it will free up your time. It will help you create new products and experiences. It's going to free up your time, and I estimate it's 1,000, more than 1,000 plus hours per year. So on my program, I say it will save you that amount of time in marketing and operational tasks a year. Me personally, I am churning through stuff that have been on my to-do list for years. It's amazing. It's quite incredible. Yeah, so just servicing our clients better. And the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, are going to be the biggest years we've ever seen in travel because of the retiring baby boomers, the over 55s. So we're going to just be able to service them a lot better. If you're not using it now, just get in, just give it a go. AI and Gen AI is really best, well, not best even taught, it's best self trained. It's like a bike. Just get on and start riding. Just use it every single day if you can. Give it tasks. If you have a problem, if you're thinking about how to tackling something on your day-to-day list, just ask it. You'll be amazed at what it comes back with. So I quite often use it. I used it the other day and had so much going around in my head. I was doing my planning and I just said to it, look, I'm really struggling here with what I've got. I need you to help me triage priorities, what's more important, and I want to focus on revenue generation, and it helped me. It actually triaged, gave me a list in order of importance on things to focus on to grow my business. So it's amazing. Just, yeah, staying informed on some of that privacy stuff is really important. And the human touch, it's what we have. It's our secret sauce. It's our secret sparkle. That is what we have. And I, I will take some questions now. Look, give both ChatGPT, give DeepSeek a go. They're both very similar. They both give great answers. They're both great solutions. It just depends on where you're at with all that stuff. This is me. If you're interested in working with me and helping you navigate literally doubling your bookings this year, that's what we're going for in our program at the moment, and freeing up 1,000 plus hours, I'd love for you to join me. So if you're interested in hearing more about my program, please feel free to contact me. You can DM me on Facebook, LinkedIn, call me. There's all my information there. Yeah, that's what I do. It's a great program. I'm adding to it continuously. I'm updating all of my clients in the program continuously, and we're all learning together every day. So what I might do is take some questions now that you have heard all of that. Okay, where are we? So we have, that's great, Melinda. Chad, open AI. Yep. Yes, that's amazing. The other Bronwyn. At the moment, I've only used ChatGPT without logging in. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. You must simply, Bronwyn, create a profile. If you create a profile and you log in and have an account and go one step further and pay $20 a month for the ChatGPT 4 version or the advanced version, you'll just get better output and you'll get a memory as well. It remembers everything about you and you can tell it, you can incorporate your tone, your brand, your tone of voice, how you want it to output. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. The big thing that you have to be aware of in using ChatGPT and any Gen AI is sounding like everybody else. I keep saying that, but we work really hard on that in the program. And that's where the research, the traveler research comes into it. And we also have a set. So I've created a travel and tourism ChatGPT, so a marketing assistant, where I direct it in the background on what to say, what not to say. So I never want to hear the term hidden gem in any of my content. Otherwise, I'll throw you over the other side of the room. Hidden gems, secrets, off the beaten path, off the beaten track, all of these things that you're hearing now more than ever because they're all being churned out by ChatGPT. It's really important to understand that my travelers that I interview and talk to, they are seeing it too. You've got to ask yourself, how am I going to differentiate myself when there's 5 hotels I'm choosing from? What am I going to choose? Unless you have really exciting, interesting content that's different from all the others, they're going to go somewhere else. Uh, Here we go. Melinda, I have one account, but I know people that have 2 different accounts, one for personal, one for business. Because of the memories, I don't like to confuse it. Oh, you do use it sometimes. Like this morning, I've got a big, massive cabbage that I get in those boxes you get delivered of the Farmer's Direct, it's called, and you get a box, just get a random box. I'm like, what am I going to do with this enormous cabbage? I asked ChatGPT, I have an enormous cabbage and a bit of a zucchini. So I did use that. Gave me a great recipe. But yeah, look, I think we're okay just to have that one version unless we're doing really heavy work. Sarah, it's like educating a PA. I'm always talking about AI. Yeah. Oh, layoffs and nauseating objectives. I have actually told me that it sounds silly. You sound silly. You sound over the top. Tone it down. We're Australian. In Australian, we don't say that sort of stuff. And it goes, oh, yeah, that's right. I do yell at it as well. I'm not sure if that helped. So, yeah, lots of different things. All right. Bye, everyone. Take care.